I am a 31-year-old man who's been married to my wife for 7 years. Throughout our marriage, I fully supported her decision to return to college and pursue her degree. I not only provided emotional encouragement, but also covered her tuition expenses out of pocket. I genuinely believed in her potential and wanted her to achieve her dreams. However, my world came crashing down when I discovered that she was having an affair with one of her professors. The betrayal stung even more, knowing that I financially supported her education, unknowingly making it easier for the affair to happen. When I confronted her, she offered a weak apology that did little to heal the deep pain I felt. Overwhelmed with anger and frustration, I made a decision in the heat of the moment. I called the college registrar to inform them that I would no longer be paying for her tuition. During the call, I also revealed the affair and named the professor involved. As I looked into the situation further, I discovered that the professor's wife worked at the registrar's office. I confirmed their marriage through social media, realizing that my actions would likely stir up even more drama. But at that moment, I felt justified in exposing the truth. Now, my wife is furious, accusing me of sabotaging her chances of finishing her degree and calling me vindictive. Some friends believe I overstepped by involving the college and the professor's wife, while others argue that she brought this upon herself and that I had every right to withdraw my financial support. The situation is made even more complicated by the fact that we have a young daughter, making the thought of divorce even more difficult. I can't help but wonder, was I justified in my actions, or did I take things too far in my response to her betrayal? In another situation, my 28-year-old sister recently got engaged to a man named John, who is 30, after dating for about a year. She was eager to introduce him to our family. However, when I met him, I was stunned. I immediately recognized him as my ex-boyfriend, the same man who had repeatedly cheated on me during our 2-year relationship. At first, John didn't seem to recognize me, as my appearance had changed since we were together. But when I confronted him privately, he admitted that he knew exactly who I was. He begged me not to tell my sister, insisting that he had changed and truly loved her. I was torn. On one hand, I wanted to protect my sister from the pain I had endured. On the other, I was forced to relive my past wounds. Ultimately, I decided she deserved to know the truth. I showed her old photos and messages as proof of John's infidelity. Although she was devastated, she still chose to stay with him, believing that he had changed. Now, to make things even more complicated, my sister and John have asked to stay with me for a few days while their apartment undergoes renovations. I refused, explaining that I couldn't live with a man who had caused me so much pain. My sister accused me of being selfish and holding John's past against him, insisting that I was creating unnecessary drama. This led to a significant rift in our family, with my parents divided on the issue. My mother believes I should accommodate them for my sister's sake, while my father supports my decision to set boundaries. Now, I find myself questioning whether I'm being unreasonable for refusing to let them stay with me. Additionally, I am a 19-year-old woman living at home while juggling a part-time job, freelance work, and online courses in preparation for college. My 25-year-old sister gave birth 8 months ago, but the baby's father is uninvolved aside from providing child support. My mother is eager to help with the baby, but in reality, I end up taking care of him about 70% of the time. While I love spending time with my nephew, I feel increasingly frustrated by the lack of consideration for my own responsibilities. My mother often drops him off in the middle of my lessons, or while I'm working on freelance projects, expecting me to handle it without question. The situation reached a breaking point when my mother and sister left the baby with me for an entire day, assuming I had nothing important to do. When I confronted them about their irresponsibility, they dismissed my concerns and called me a spoiled brat. That same night, other family members reached out, emphasizing the importance of helping family, especially since my sister is a single mother. In response, I sent a message to the family group chat acknowledging the need to support my sister, but also proposing a babysitting schedule that involved everyone, rather than relying solely on me. However, this suggestion sparked a debate, with some arguing that my sister shouldn't be away from her child for an entire day, leading to discussions about whether she was being an irresponsible mother. Now, I'm left wondering, Was I wrong for suggesting a fair plan? Or is it unreasonable for them to expect me to be my sister's unpaid nanny while reacting negatively when I propose a solution? In yet another personal experience, I am an 18-year-old woman attending university in England, where my 28-year-old half-brother, Jay, lives. Our mother, originally from Canada, moved to England to be with his father, but eventually returned to Canada to care for our grandmother and never moved back. Jay is getting married soon, but I barely know him. We have only met 4 times, and he has always been cold and distant toward me. When I informed him that I wouldn't be attending his wedding, he suggested that if I didn't want his family to know who I was, I could sit with his fiancée, Sarah. However, I look exactly like our mother, so it would be obvious who I was. He insisted that our mother expected me to attend, and that if I had any issues, I should take them up with her. Now, I'm left questioning, am I being unreasonable for declining to attend a wedding where I feel unwelcome and disconnected from the family? Finally, I am a 21-year-old man who has been deployed for the past 10 months and will soon be returning home. My wife and I had planned for her to be the only one aware of my return date, so we could surprise our family together. However, during a recent visit home, my mother pressured my wife into revealing my return date, leading her to insist on being present when I arrive. When I expressed my desire to have some private time with my wife first, my mother became emotional, accusing me of neglecting my family responsibilities. Now, I'm questioning whether I'm wrong for wanting to set boundaries and prioritize my time with my wife after such a long separation.